and respect, but just being grateful. There's nothing really we have to think about. Just grateful that we have this life, that our eyes are open, that we are able to walk with Christ. Because remember, we didn't come here on our own.
And Amazing Lessons by Elder Rawchaa. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawya. With 12 amazing lessons
during the winter season and 2 p.m. during the summer season under the tutelage of Regional Elder Gabar and leadership. Since nations are built on families, our focus is to awaken our people, bring them back to their original heritage which was once forgotten, and to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, together as one under Christ. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Are you seeking to strengthen your biblical foundation? Join us in the Hebrew Bible Academy, where we offer 12 weeks of in-depth learning in a structured environment. Receive real-time news from Brother Shabbat and Amazing Lessons by Elder Rawchaa. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawya. With 12 amazing lessons, you are guaranteed to learn more about your true biblical history and authentic Hebrew language than you would in a traditional Christian church, for only a one-time payment of $150 or 3 monthly payments of $50. Join us at historytimes.org and sign up today. It's not too late. See you in the Academy.
Shalom and Barakatham, peace and blessings. We are the Gathering of Christ Church, New York City, a family who adheres to the sacred laws of the earth administered to Christ down to his father's children of Israel, whom are scattered abroad. We would like to invite you to join us in our law classes, which are held every Sabbath beginning at 1 p.m. during the winter season and 2 p.m. during the summer season, under the tutelage of Regional Elder Gabar and leadership. Since nations are built on families, our focus is to awaken our people, bring them back to their original heritage which was once forgotten, and to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, together as one under Christ. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Are you seeking to strengthen your biblical foundation? Join us in the Hebrew Bible Academy, where we offer 12 weeks of in-depth learning in a structured environment. Receive real-time news from Brother Shabbat and Amazing Lessons by Elder Rawchaa. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawya. With 12 amazing lessons, you are guaranteed to learn more about your true biblical history and authentic Hebrew language than you would in a traditional Christian church, for only a one-time payment of $150 or 3 monthly payments of $50. Join us at historytimes.org and sign up today. It's not too late. See you in the Academy.
Shalom and Barakatham, peace and blessings. We are the Gathering of Christ Church, New York City, a family who adheres to the sacred laws of the earth administered to Christ down to his father's children of Israel, whom are scattered abroad. We would like to invite you to join us in our law classes, which are held every Sabbath beginning at 1 p.m. during the winter season and 2 p.m. during the summer season, under the tutelage of Regional Elder Gabar and leadership. Since nations are built on families, our focus is to awaken our people, bring them back to their original heritage which was once forgotten, and to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, together as one under Christ. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Are you seeking to strengthen your biblical foundation? Join us in the Hebrew Bible Academy, where we offer 12 weeks of in-depth learning in a structured environment. Receive real-time news from Brother Rawchaa and amazing lessons by Elder Rawchaa. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawya. With 12 amazing lessons, you are guaranteed to learn more about your true biblical history and authentic Hebrew language than you would in a traditional Christian church, for only a one-time payment of $150 or 3 monthly payments of $50. Join us at historytimes.org and sign up today. It's not too late. See you in the academy.
Shalom and barakatham, peace and blessings. We are the Gathering of Christ Church, New York City, a family who adheres to the sacred laws of the earth administered to Christ down to his father's children of Israel, whom are scattered abroad. We would like to invite you to join us in our law classes, which are held every Sabbath beginning at 1 p.m. during the winter season and 2 p.m. during the summer season, under the tutelage of Regional Elder Gabar and leadership. Since nations are built on families, our focus is to awaken our people, bring them back to their original heritage which was once forgotten, and to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, together as one under Christ. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one.
Are you seeking to strengthen your biblical foundation? Join us in the Hebrew Bible Academy, where we offer 12 weeks of in-depth learning in a structured environment. Receive real-time news from Brother Rawchaa and amazing lessons by Elder Rawchaa. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawya. With 12 amazing lessons, you are guaranteed to learn more about your true biblical history and authentic Hebrew language than you would in...
Again, Shabbat Shalom, family. Man, I feel like I ain't been here for, years, man. I don't know why. But it's a blessing, man. I feel good being back here. Very, very, very long week for me. First, I had to go and bury my uncle. Also, that for those who are keeping me in prayer, my family as well. And also, right after the burial, I park my car and I wake up to go to Shabbat. Somebody opened my car and stole all my tools out of my car. Everything. I'm like, he even tried to take the car seat and everything. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, is that serious? So I just want to show you like how cunning the devil is, right? Because I'm there, I told my wife and my children to go upstairs. I wait for the cops. I'm sitting down on the steps, praying for whoever, took my tools, just for the sake of their soul. You understand? So I'm doing that, sincerely doing that. 15 minutes later, the guy comes back, try to open the door. Immediately, that prayer left me. I'm being serious. This is the way how the devil works. That prayer left me. All I was thinking about was blood. I'm being honest. Because you're trying to disrespect me now. But I'm just trying to show you that this is the way how the devil is trying to operate with us. Make us go back into the flesh and not in the spirit. Right? So you still got to keep an eye and aware of these things, right? But all in all, still grateful. Still have grace, still here, right? Could have been worse. Could have been worse. All right, so I have a short lesson today because we have a lot to cover after class as well too, so it's going to be short. But before I go into the actual lesson, I want to go and touch back on to what was revealed in Matthew's last week, right? Because that's highly important, especially in Matthew chapter 18. Highly, highly important to understand. Because I'm scared because I think it went over some of y'all heads, Matthew chapter 18. So we're going to go back and revamp so it could be stuck in our mind what this gospel is about and what we need to do. Right? So let's start at Matthew chapter 18, verse 1.
Matthew 18 and 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yeshua, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yeshua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
So he says, except ye be converted within your mind, repentance in your mind, thinking differently within your mind. Except you be converted as becoming one of these little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven if you not do so. So what does he mean by that? Being converted in the mind as a little child. When a child does something wrong and the parent corrects them, they'll cry for a couple of minutes and then come back running to the parents. Pure forgiveness. Even with the kids playing together. They'll be angry for a couple of hours, and then next minute they're playing video games. Or they're playing Barbie dolls, whatever it is. So Christ's saying, unless you have that type of mindset as a child, easy to forgive. If you do not have that, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So we think it's just getting into that water, right? It don't stop there. Mm-hmm. It don't stop there. Yes, he said that except you be not born again, you shall not enter the kingdom. What be born again it means? Starting back as a child. Starting back as a child. So except you convert your mind as the time you come out that spiritual womb, that water. If you do not convert your mind and think as a child, easy to forgive, you shall not enter into the kingdom. And then now it's going to explain why is that. We're putting on the game. Right, so read verse 3 again.
And said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Except
you humble yourself as a little child. We think that because when we get into this world, right, the world kind of tackles us, and when we get older, we have this attitude that we have. And now we having this attitude with the Father. You can't tell me what to do. I want to do this on my own. But he says, except you humble yourself, you should not enter. Right? Continue.
Verse 5. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea.
So offenses is very serious. Offending one another within the body is very serious. It says if you offend any one of us in here, offend one another, it's best that you have a millstone over your neck and drown into the water. It's better off you didn't exist if you offend one another. Continue.
Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come. But woe to that man by whom the offense cometh.
So we understand that there's going to be offenses in the body. We automatically know that. It's going to be there. There's nothing that we can stop. It's already written that offenses have to come. But here's the kicker. Woe be to the one who is offending. Woe be to the one that the devil enters in and you offend one of these people, one of his children. So it's not the Most High is actually picking, yeah, I want that person to offend, that person to offend. The devil enters in the same way how he entered Judas. He said, have not I picked 12 of y'all and one of y'all are the devil? He said the Most High did that, the devil. He knew that one of them would be a weak link. It has to be fulfilled. So woe unto those who cause offense. Continue.
Verse 8. Wherefore, if thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off and cast them from thee. It is better for thee to enter into life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands and 2 feet to be cast into everlasting fire.
So, wherefore, if there's offenses, as Paul says that we are coming together, fitly being joined together as the body of Christ. So if there's offenses and somebody's a hand, and the hand is offended, chop it off. It's out of here. It's best to go into the kingdom, the full body and no right hand. Continue.
Verse 9. And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out, and cast it from thee. It is better for thee to enter into life with 1 eye, rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire.
Bro, you know how much work I be doing in this church? Y'all trying to take me out? Yeah, brother, you're offending. Yeah, you're the eyes of the church, but here what? You got to go. Here what, sister? You got to get out of here. Right? Continue.
Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones. For I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven.
And this is, I ain't gonna even touch that. But that's deep. This is deep right here. This is very deep. Take heed that despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that the heaven, their angels do always behold their face on the Father which is in heaven. All right, that's gonna be some other time. But let's go, continue.
For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost. How think ye? If a man have 100 sheep, and one of them be gone astray, doth he not leave the 99 and goeth into the mountains, and seeketh that which is gone astray?
Right. So if a person has 100 sheep and one of them go astray, you're not gonna say, oh well, I lost one. Nah, that's my sheep. What does that thing cost? I gotta get it back. So he leaves the 99 because he knows that the 99 is not going to go anywhere. He goes for the one that went astray. Continue.
13. And if so be that he find it, verily I say unto you, he rejoiceth more of that sheep than of the 99 which went not astray.
Right. So the Father rejoices more for the people that went astray and got pulled back in. Because that's a blessing right there. To actually see somebody come out from the world and come back in. Left going to the world and come back in. That's a blessing. You got to rejoice for that. The prodigal son. key example. Continue.
Even so, it is not the will of your Father which is in heaven, that one of these little ones should perish. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Read verse 14 again.
Even so, it is not the will of your Father which is in heaven, that one of these little ones should perish.
Right. So here, check this out, right? He says that if your right arm offend thee, cut it off. Just get rid of it. But yet he's saying that this is not what needs to actually happen, though. It's not the will of the Father for, somebody offended, get him out of here. Nah. It's about getting and figuring out what's the problem. You don't go, you have a stomach virus. You don't go and automatically take out the stomach and say, I don't need the stomach anymore, it's sick. Do you not go and figure out what's the problem with your stomach to heal the stomach? So he says, moreover, if that, even so, verse 14, even so is not the will of the Father which is in heaven that one of these little ones shall perish. It's not the will of the Father. Right? Continue.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
So instead of saying, you offend me, brother, you out of here, it has to be a sit down. It has to be a conversation first, before anything happens. So if somebody offends you, you have to go to. It's not that you got to think about it. You have to go to. Because now what's happening, you have this brother or sister next to the gate, either in or out. You have the power to do so. So if you do not go and tell that person, listen, you offended me with this, that's blood on your hands. That's blood on both of your hands. Not only the person who offended, but the person who did not go up and say, listen, you offended me. That's blood on both of your hands. So one is not worse than the other. You're both not entering in the kingdom. Read verse 15 again.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
So the first step, if a person offends you, is not to go and blab about, look what his brother did to me, look what his sister did to me. That's not how it works. You must go first to that person and that person alone. Not go to anyone else. What do you think I should do? Not even that. Brother, sister, you have offended me. This is how you offended me. Let's talk about it. You cannot have side conversation about the matter. Have to go to the person. This is the gospel here. This is the gospel. I keep on saying it's deeper than pork. I'm telling you. This thing is way deeper than pork. Continue.
Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
So now, you went to that person. If he says, brother, sister, I do apologize. I did not know I did that. Or, yeah, I did it, and you know what? I repent from my mind from doing so. Done. But if the brother or sister said, nah, forget that. I ain't doing anything to you. Brother, I'm offended. Of course you did something to me. Nah. You could never be my brother. You could never be my sister. Okay. So now you will go to verse 16. But if he would not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 witnesses, or 2 or more witnesses. By every word it shall be established. So now you're going to go to them with witnesses now. And say, here what the matter is. I said this to him, and he said that to me. Is that true? Yeah, I said that. So now you have witnesses there saying, like brother, sister, why you not Why are you not apologizing to him or her? Right? So now you have witnesses now. Sometimes that will make people feel like, yeah, you know what? I'm right, I'm wrong. Because you have now people that's neutral to the whole situation to help out with the matter. It's just like something what Elder Gabar said. Like, we easily have a conversation like, yo, bro, who's better, LeBron or Jordan? And one person said, nah, bro, LeBron. Other person said, nah, Jordan's the greatest all time. Yo, bro, come over here. And then you bring that witness in to make sure that everything's neutral, make sure everything's understandable. Right? So you bring the 2 or 3 more witnesses if that doesn't happen in verse 15, right? Continue.
17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man or a publican.
So verse 17. And a publican. So now if he doesn't want to hear the 2 or 3 witnesses, what you have to do? Bring him in front of the whole congregation. This is the matter. This brother or sister doesn't want to listen to what I'm saying. He doesn't believe that he offended me, or he doesn't think that he offended me. So now you have the whole congregation, the whole body now. So now if the whole body rejects that thing, it's a cancer. Get rid of it. If one thing is not agreeable, the whole body is not agreeable. Get rid of it. It's a cancer. So now you have the congregation now trying to figure out what's the matter. And the person said, nah, y'all all wrong. All 151 of y'all wrong. What? Get rid of him. That's verse 17 is now where you chop off the arm and the leg and the eyes and pluck out the eyes. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man. Let him be as a Gentile to y'all. He's a heathen man. He doesn't want to listen to me. She's a heathen. If she was a follower of Christ, if she wasn't actually what she said, she's an Israelite or he's an Israelite, he would hear my matter. But he or she doesn't. She's a Gentile. She's a heathen. She's a publican. Separate yourself from them. So it's a step-by-step thing that we have here, brothers and sisters. We have all the steps here. It's us that are denying the steps and saying that we don't want to do that, or go against opposite what the Messiah said. And be wondering why it's not going properly. Why are you having a side conversation? Speak to the person. Why are you not bringing the 2 or 3 more witnesses? That's your fault. So we have the steps by steps, right? Continue.
18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
And this part is very, very, very important and deep. We have the power to reject somebody from the kingdom or accept them. So now, again, if we go to that person and the person says, no, I'm not going to forgive them, you have now bound that person from getting into the kingdom. But here's the kicker. Somebody else is doing the same thing for you. So both of y'all not getting into the kingdom. If you do not go and approach that person who offended you, automatically, because you not approached that person and said, listen, you have offended me, automatically that brother or that sister is shut out of the kingdom because you have not approached them from being loose. But here's the problem. Since you have not gone to that person, somebody else is doing the same thing to you. So go back again. Y'all both not going to the kingdom. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. It's that simple, but yet so deep. So we have this grudge and animosity in front about people when we see them, and we're not approaching them and telling them, listen, this is what it is. We are shutting the gates on us, on yourself, and that person as well. This is the reason why the Messiah said, Yeshua said, verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth, it shall be bound in heaven. And whatsoever is loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. We have that power. See, but that power is not to use it for wickedness. So now, since we know the information, like, nah, you know what? I'll make sure this brother or sister ain't going to the kingdom. Jeez. Don't worry, there's a clause in it. That's why the Messiah put the clause in it. Oh, you don't want to do that? No problem. You ain't getting in either. Because when you have not converted your mind as a little child, that little child would have easily forgave that person 15 minutes ago. You taking 25 years. I got a bunch of cousins now not talking to their father, passing their uncle straight in front of people. I'm like, what's going on here? We had to have that mind converted as a child. This is what the Messiah was talking about. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth is bound in heaven. Whatsoever is loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. We have that connection and that power. We are the spiritual people. Continue.
Again, I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven.
So while we are having this conversation about the offense, guess who's in the midst of us? The Messiah. So now if we say that brother's not forgiven, or that sister's not forgiven, that's written down. He's right there written down. Okay, not forgiven, not against the kingdom, no problem. Let me check your record for a second. Okay. I'll see you at judgment. Seems like you're not getting in the kingdom too, brother. But I'm here. I'm judging everything. Okay, no problem. You want to want that sister again? No problem. I got you. I'm in the midst. No problem. I'm there. It's all written down. Verse 19 again.
Again, I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. Mm-hmm. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
So there am I in the midst of them. I'm there, watching everything that you're doing. Continue.
Verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times?
So this is the reason why Peter had to bring this up. So I could just go to a brother and say, yo, you offended me. You say, I apologize. How much times he gonna do that to me? I know this, brother. I know this. She's gonna do that to me again. How many times I got to forgive this person? This is the reason why Peter asked that question. All right, continue.
22. Yeshua said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
I say not unto thee until 7 times, but 70 times 7. To break that down, forever. Forever. Because guess how many times you had to be forgiven? know this was in Peter's mind after that. He's like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because okay. That makes sense. That come after me too. 3 times. Cock crow, 3 times. Sometimes you got to forgive me, Lord. Sometimes you won't forgive me. Oh, man. Right, continue.
Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife, and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made.
Check that out. So now this is not even talking about after Judgment Day. It's talking about now. So now you're over there, not forgiving this person, that person, this person. I hate everybody. He said that he will take away your wife, your children, and your payment. Because you owe me. Remember, I gave you those children. I gave you that wife. I gave you that nice job. And all I'm asking you is to forgive. You want to do that? Take back everything. The house, the kids, the dog, I want it all. Verse 20, read 25 again.
But for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all.
So now you're going through all this stuff now. Wife want to divorce you, lost the job, got to pay child support now. So now you're begging to the Lord, please forgive me. I know what I've done. Please forgive me for all my sins. Get baptized. Say, okay, no problem. In order to do that, still got a little debt for me. Do what I tell you to do, and then you'll be free. Right? Continue.
27. Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion, and loosed him, and forgave him the debt.
So he forgave him the debt. It's okay, brother. I got compassion on you. Came to me humble. All right, I forgive you. You're free. Right? Continue.
But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence.
So check this out. He owed his Lord 10,000. 10,000 talents. 100 pence. $1. Brother, where my dollar at? You got this hand over this guy's neck about $1. Verse 28.
But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that which thou owest.
Yeah, you know this is us for sure, man. Where my money at, bro? Right? Where my dollar at? Continue.
For his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, Have patience with me, I will pay thee all.
So now, the person that offended that person, he said, please forgive me. I'm going to pay you everything. Just give me a chance. I promise. But just have mercy upon me. Same thing that what he said. Continue.
Verse 30. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt.
So he did not and cast him to the prison till he paid that debt. Locked out of the kingdom. Tormented in this time. All that's happening because you didn't forgive that person. So now you're putting a curse on that person. Continue.
So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. Verse 32. Then his Lord, after that he had called him, and said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt, because thou desirest me. Shouldn't not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee?
So right. So the same way that you had owed the Most High and the Messiah all the debt that you owed them, and he forgave it, why not do that to your fellow brother you can see face to face every day? Why you cannot do that? Why you cannot do that with your wife? Why you can't do that with your husband, seeing them every day? We're no different from that person who said, who had the God hand around and nigga said, where my money at? We're no different. That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah, I know the Most High forgave me, but that person? Nah, never. Never. We're no different. So imagine, this is the Messiah talking to us right now. Oh, thou wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because thou desirest. Shouldn't not thou also have compassion on your fellow servants, even as I had pity on thee? But that's him talking to us now. Continue.
And his Lord was wroth, and delivered him to the tormentors.
So the Lord was wroth and delivered him to demons. Delivered him to the tormentors. Continue.
Till he should pay all that was due unto him.
That's deep. When you're dead, there's no way you can pay the debt. It's talking about now. It's talking about now. So you wonder what was going on with these demons over here, this and the third? It's that. It's that. It's that. So he delivered you to the torment until you pay that debt. So imagine you owe $10,000. You're going to be there for a while paying that debt. You might not be able to finish that debt. But if you forgive, you're free. That's simple. You're debt free, no problem. You don't want to forgive? Okay, brother. Be tormented. I take away your wife. I take away your kids. Be tormented. What are we going to pick? Hard decision, right? It's a hard decision for the flesh, I'll tell you that. Very hard decision for the flesh. This is the reason why Paul said to come out of the flesh and into the spirit. Come out of the flesh and into the spirit that you may serve in newness of life. The flesh, forgive what? Well, I'm forgiven. You know what that person did to me? Continue.
So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgive not every one his brother their trespasses.
Hear the detail of it. So now you can say, nah, I forgive you, brother. Hear what it says. If ye from your hearts. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts. Not from your mouth. From your hearts. Forgive not everyone his brother their trespasses. So now you can say, yeah, I forgive you, no problem. But you still have an evil eye for that person. Now you're a murderer now. Now you're not entering the kingdom. You see how everything connects? All these big time scholars trying to figure out what is the New Testament, the law, it's right there. The simplicity of Christ. This is what I'm talking about. My yoke is light. What does that mean? It simply means that. It's light. Now it's light to the spirit now. The flesh, on the other hand, that's a heavy weight. That's a heavy weight for the flesh. But here what? That heavy weight is supposed to diminish the flesh, destroy the flesh. All the spiritual work that you're doing, the flesh is going to get weary. It don't want to even bother with you anymore. I'm tired of asking this guy to do something. He's not doing it. Why? We've been friends all these years. What's your problem? look all that I've done for you. So the flesh is going to get worried with all these spiritual things that you're doing.
Deacon, if I can
Yeah, bro.
add into that.
Yep.
Going into, I'm going to read it real quick. 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love the Most High, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love the Most High whom he hath not seen? And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth the Most High love his brother also. It goes into detail with that too, because as verse 35 said, if ye from your hearts forgive, we're in this mission to love one another. If we can't love each other, how can we love those outside as well? Being that if we deal with each other, not on a daily basis, some do it more than others, but we see each other more often, and we're trying to grow from that. And if we can't forgive each other and act like grown people, then you're not just holding one person from getting to the kingdom. Remember, if you're not passionate or humble enough to forgive somebody or your fellow brother or sister, remember, you're asking for forgiveness from the Father. So if you can't forgive someone that you see, imagine asking for forgiveness for somebody that that you got to deal with when you pass. So yeah.
Fine, the water, brother. Appreciate that. Something that came to my mind when you were speaking. See if I can find it. One second. I'll find it some other time. Find some. All right, so y'all guys understand that, right? It's clear now what we have to do, right? This thing is very serious. Highly serious. So that's the reason why it says better that you didn't know the truth. He was walking in the world your whole life. That come in here and not do it. It's better off that you stay in the world and do all your wickedness than coming in here and not doing what the gospel says. They'll have a better time being tormented than the person. I know how it sounds crazy, but than the person that's in the gospel and being tormented. That's a worse judgment. Right? All right, so we're going to move on. Small lesson I have right here. It's called a tradition of man. Right? Anybody here heard about this phrase before? Tradition of man. So let's start off in Colossians. We're going to start at chapter 2. We're going to begin at verse 1.
Colossians 2:1. For I would that ye knew what great conflict I have for you, and for them at Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen my face in the flesh, that their hearts might be comforted, being knit together in love, and unto all riches of the full assurance of understanding, to the acknowledgement of the mystery of the Most High, and of the Father and of Christ, in whom are hid all treasures of wisdom and knowledge. And this I say, lest any man shall beguile you with enticing words.
So Paul is trying to remind the people to be aware of being beguiled with enticing words, flattering lips. Right? Continue.
For though I be absent in the flesh, yet I am with you in the spirit, joined and beholding your order, and the steadfastness of your faith in Christ. As ye have therefore received Christ Yeshua the Lord, so walk ye in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
So here's the warning that Paul has given us. beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after traditions of men, after the rudiments of this world, and not after the Messiah. So now when we read this, the first thing that comes to our mind, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, what else out there? Labor Day. All these things, which is true. Those things are tradition of men that you have to be aware of. But what about the tradition of men that's within the Israelite community that we're not being aware of, that we're not seeing with a spiritual eye? Who is the majority of Paul's audience? Who is he talking to? What is he talking about? We not be beguiled with philosophy and vain deceit and the tradition of men. Are not Israelites men? You don't think he's not talking about Israelites too? Huh? So we're going to read more about these traditions of men because we have to be very cautious of these things. And it's the reason why Paul brings this out. Because it's not for us to keep our guards down when it comes to doctrine. You have to have a keen eye and a good ear, a spiritual ear, and understanding what this scripture is talking about. Because if you don't, anybody could say anything. You're like, okay, sounds good. Enticing words. Letting anybody beguile you with enticing words. Understand the scripture. What is it talking about? So Paul is saying, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. Continue.
For in him dwelling all the fullness and the Godhead bodily, and ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power.
So here's the thing. We have the understanding what the law is about, what we need to do. So now where we have Christ now, it's all complete. So but people think that there's something after Christ that I have to know more. There's other things out there I have to do. But Christ gave you the completion of it. Christ gave us the completion of it. Continue.
Verse 11. In whom also ye are circumcised with the circumcision made without hands, in the putting off the body of the sins of the flesh by the circumcision of Christ, buried with him in baptism, wherein also ye are risen with him through the faith of the operation of the Most High, who hath raised him from the dead. And you, being dead in your sins, and in the uncircumcision of your flesh, hath he quickened together with him, having forgiven you all trespasses, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross.
Right, continue.
And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them.
So that's deep right there too. Just having spoiled principalities and powers. These so-called demigods, showing them, listen, you got no power. Making an open show of them, like, listen, this is where the power is at. Having spoiled principalities and powers, and he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it, even unto death. Continue.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ.
Right. So don't make nobody judge you regarding these things, because these things are the shadow of things to come. They are the representation of these things. Continue.
Let no man beguile you of your reward.
So the key thing is make sure nobody beguiles you of your reward. So people would think that, again, I have to go outside of what Christ taught to get a higher understanding. I had to do more to get a higher understanding of Christ, even though Christ didn't say it. This is what's going on in people's minds, being beguiled with philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men and not after the Messiah. So now they had to give you all these philosophy and all these type of nonsense. You forget what the reward is about. You forget why you're here. The first reason why you came, because you wanted forgiveness. You wanted to walk in Christ. Now it's some extra thing now. What's this? Why are you losing track of this, brother? Why are you losing track of this, sister? We're so focused on, I celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas. Yes, all that, you're right to do that. But what about blocking these certain things that's coming out within our community as well? That's not of Christ. Not everything that comes out from an Israelite mouth is true. If it's not of Christ, if you cannot find it, why are you doing it? If Christ didn't do it, why are you doing it? Continue. Verse 18 again.
Let no man beguile you of your reward, and of voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, intruding into those things which he hath not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind.
Right, telling you worship angels and all this type of thing. You got to worship Michael for this. You got to talk to this person, this angel for that. Where you get that from? Just because you know their name when they're calling them? Who said to do that? Nah, bro, I got some high understanding, but after I got Christ, Spirit went up to the roof, man. I understand now. Where you getting information from, brother? If it's out, okay, I say it's a higher spirit gives you that. If it's not written, I can't receive it. As it's written. If an angel comes with a different doctrine, don't receive it. Continue.
19. And not holding the head, from which all the body by joints and bands, having nourishment ministered, and knit together, increaseth with the increase of the Most High.
Right. So not holding the head being Christ, the brains of the operation. If the head sets for the hands to move, it moves. But if you replace that head and put something else, who's controlling you? Is it Christ? No. Continue.
Wherefore, if you be dead with Christ from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are ye subject to ordinances?
So why are you subject to ordinances? Right? Continue.
Touch not, taste not, handle not, which all are to perish with the using after the commandments and doctrines of men.
Right. So when it talks about touch not and taste not, we know that it's not talking about going outside the dietary law. We're going to see what he's actually talking about, because Christ had to go and express that what's going on there. So they said, wherefore, if you are dead in Christ from the rudiments of the world, why are you through the living of the world or subject to ordinances, which after the commandments and doctrine of men? Why are you still stuck on these doctrine of men? When the path is right there. Well, our forefathers did it. While all our forefathers doing the right thing? If they're all doing the right thing, Christ didn't come. It became a tradition of man and not something that has to be spirituality. Continue.
Verse 23. Which things have indeed a show of wisdom in will worshiping and humility and neglecting of the body, not in any honor to satisfying of the flesh.
Things, we're going opposite that direction. We're not self-will worshiping. It's all about one, self. Spirituality, self. Like, I hear this all the time myself. What happens to the Most High? Yes, you must understand body, spirituality, mental, yes. But where's the source? Who is the source? What is the source? You're not the source. Let's go to Titus chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 10.
Titus 1:10. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers.
So there are many out there who are unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, bringing forth philosophy and vain deceit after the tradition of men. Continue.
Especially they of the circumcision.
Especially who?
They of the circumcision.
Especially them who are of the circumcision. Israelites. Especially those who call themselves Israelites. We're number one for philosophy. Tradition of man. Especially those who are of the circumcision. But you have to have a keen eye and an understanding of the scriptures, because there are a lot of them of the Israelite community. It's a fact. Everybody on YouTube now is a teacher. Like Elder Rawchaa said, you put a towel on your head in your mother's basement, talking about you're a teacher. Because YouTube is easy. Nah, I ain't about no coming together, church camp, and this and the third. It's all about learning and understanding. Who told you that? Does the scripture say that? That you don't need a body? You the only member of the body of Christ? What scripture is that? Especially those who are of the circumcision. Continue.
Whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake.
So they go into people's houses and try to convert them and making them worse. Yeah, I know they're teaching this, but check this out right here. Subverting whole houses, teaching what they ought not to. Continue.
Verse 12. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth.
So when it talks about the Cretans, they talk about Jews who are Cretans. And it says one of them, especially even a prophet of their own, said that the Cretans are liars and evil beasts, slow bellies. All right? It said not to not give into heed of Jewish fables. Jewish fables. Tales. And this is what we get caught up in as well too. Because every book that we read, everything, okay, hold up. Israel wrote this book. This must be true. Let me try this out. Jewish fables. And the commandments of men. So now you got commandments of men. You know that the Talmud is our book? Our people wrote the Talmud. Doctrine of men. Philosophy. This is why I also have to be shut down too. Well, you know, if the Sabbath is on, I can't light a candle, or if I do light a candle, I have to be on top of a tree, facing upside down, on the water with a snorkel. Like this is what the Talmud is all about. This philosophy. I think this is what it is. And you have a bunch of people who have wrote books who are philosophers, who are Israelites. But you have to know what's the difference. Not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandment of men that turn from the truth. That's the key thing right there too. Which you want to get into as well. Commandment of men, the commandments of men turning away from the truth. Continue.
Unto the pure, all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure.
Oh, don't touch that. Can't do that. Touch not, taste not, handle not. To the pure, all things are pure. You got to understand what it is like mind, what that means. Not talking about going against the dietary law, not talking about these things. But it's talking about regarding the philosophy and commandment of men. What's pure and what's not pure. To the pure, that's pure to me. What's wrong with that? But to the unpure, everything is, can't touch that. What's that? To the unpure, everything is dirty. They're blind to filth. Can't do that, can't do this. Unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving, nothing is pure. Nothing. But continue.
But even their mind and conscience is defiled.
Because even their mind and their conscience are defiled on the matter. Continue.
They profess that they know the Most High.
So yeah, they profess that I'm from the Most High. That's why I believe in. I have the truth. I have the faith. Right? Continue.
But in works, they deny him.
But in their works, they deny it. This is what it's talking about when it says that the doctrine of men could lead you away from the truth. Especially those who are of the circumcision. Continue.
Being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate.
Unto every good work, have a reprobate mind towards it. Let's go to the Messiah, right? Let's go to St. Mark. We can start at verse 1. We're at St. Mark chapter 7, verse 1.
Mark 7 and 1. Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes which came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault.
Right, so the Pharisees and the scribes came and sit down. Most likely probably noontime, everybody sitting down eating bread. And they see the disciples just come out of the blue, just, what was that? Thought you picking up bread. These guys like, yo, you ain't washing your hands? Automatically, that's the foul. They're going off. Now, is washing your hands sanitary? Of course. Wash your hands. Is it unlawful to wash your hands? That's a different story now. So they made that thing now like, oh, You're defiled. You ate that bread with unwashed hands. You just came in digging out the dirt, brother. Right? Continue.
Verse 3. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands off, eat not, holding the tradition of the elders.
Hold the tradition of the Most High.
Of the elders.
Of the elders. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands and eat not, holding the tradition of the elders. Right? Continue.
And when they come from the market, except they wash, they eat not. And many other things there be, which they have received to hold, as the washing of cups and pots, brazen vessels, and of tables.
I got to wash the cup 7 times. I got to wash the plate 10 times. Wash my hand 12 times for the Israelites. What? I just told me that. If you don't do that, brother, you defile. Right? Continue.
Verse 5. Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands?
So why are you going off? Why are you eating bread and you didn't wash your hands? Why are you not holding the tradition of the elders? If you do not follow these things, you're not going to enter into the kingdom. What are they telling them? Brother, check my hands. Look at them. See how clean these things are? Hold your hands right here, brother. So why are you not holding the traditions of the elders? Continue.
He answered and said unto them, well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
These people honor me with their lips, but their heart, or what they need to do, far away. Cleanliness is godliness. Yes, absolutely, it's true. When he went in the temple, everything was clean. Can't be defiled. But who said that unwashed hands is a sin? Why are you not holding the tradition of the elders? You speak me with the lips, but your heart is far away from the understanding of what this scripture is talking about. Continue.
Verse 7. Howbeit in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Read that again.
Howbeit in vain do they worship me.
Howbeit do they worship me? They worship the Most High. Continue.
Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
What?
Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
So you worshiping the Most High by doing the tradition of man? Total opposite. Total opposite what the Most High said. Do this to worship the Most High. If you do not do that, you're defiled. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching the doctrine of commandments of men. Continue.
For laying aside the commandment of the Most High, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do.
So for laying aside the commandments of God, putting away the commandments of God, yeah, I'll get to that later, but brother, you got to wash your hands though. Shalom, brother, like, you want to know how my day went? Nah, brother, you got to wash your hands. For laying aside the commandments of God, you hold the tradition of men. That's washing the pots, cups, and many such other things, carnal things, that get tarnished by the end. Continue.
Verse 9. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of the Most High, that ye may keep your own tradition.
So here's the problem when it comes to the tradition of men. You hold, because it's man tradition, you hold it in a higher level than the Most High's own. Because, right, it's right there in front of you. You got to do it. Wash your hands. Do this. Take it out. People see that. Yeah, this person's holy. Wash his hands. Look at him. So they put it on a high level because it's the carnal thing. You see it. Brother, what kind of blue is that? Navy blue or violet? All right, you're all right, man. You with me. Carnal. Carnal. Easy to see in front of you. And we're going to talk about the law as well, too. That's even a problem there because people ain't doing it properly. Which Christ is going to explain as well. Right? Continue.
For Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
So, right. So the law says, honor thy father and mother. If not, you're getting thrown off a cliff, period. All right, honey, just grab the leg. I'll grab the arm. On the count of 3. 1. Oh, too bad. Okay. It was no excuse. You disrespect your father and mother? Listen, stone him. Stone her. It's not my child, it's the child of the devil. So honor thy father and mother, and whosoever curseth their father and mother, let him die the death. Continue.
But ye say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, it is korban, that is to say, a gift. But whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free.
So whatever comes on my mouth is a gift from the Most High. That's your reward. If I curse you, that's your reward. It's korban. It's korban. It's a gift from the Most High. Who said that? The Lord says if you curse them, death. It's korban. Continue. So whatever you profit out of me, that's what you deserve. It's korban. This is what the Pharisees and the scribes were teaching. The ones who sit on Moses' seat. Holding the tradition of man higher than what the scripture says. Continue.
Verse 12. And ye suffer him no more to do aught for his father or mother, making the word of the Most High of none effect through your tradition, which ye have delivered, and many such like things do ye.
Yeah, I can go curse out my mother and my father. It's not going to happen. They're going to kill me. Come on. Elder said that. It's korban. If I curse you, that's a gift from God. That's your reward. Korban. You see how crazy that is? So we have now a different nation here, a different generation. Continue.
Verse 14. And when he had called all the people unto him, he said unto them, Hearken unto me, every one of you, and understand. There is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him. But the things which come out of him, those are they that defile the man.
So nothing from outside a man that enter in can defile him. Again, we got to understand with a Israelite mindset. Not talking about going eating pork, talking about eating bread here. We're unwashed hands, right? So it says there's nothing from without a man that enters him can defile him. Anything that goes out, it goes straight to the toilet. If I eat dirt, it goes out, comes out. God doesn't need it. So not what goes into the person that enters defiles the man, but the thing which comes out of that person defiles the man. Continue.
If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable.
He just said, if any man have an ear, let them hear. And you're like, oh, what are you saying? Like, yo, bro, you got an ear? Right, continue.
18. And he saith unto them, Are ye so without understanding also?
But you don't understand either? You don't got the ear to understand this? Right, continue.
Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into the man, it cannot defile him?
Uh-huh.
But because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the drought, purging all meats.
Right, so when it says that defile means to be unholy. If I eat a bread with dirty hands, it does not make me unholy. It does not make me unholy. Because what goes in my body enters the toilet, enters the drought. So it's not what, again, I gotta explain that as well too, because people online is not talking about eating pork or shrimp or crab or lobster. If you eat that, it doesn't affect you. Of course it does. It's talking about eating with unclean hands. Because if you eat it not into his heart, but into his belly, it's not going to your heart. To not make your heart unholy, but goes out into the drought and purges all meats. Continue.
Verse 20. And he said, That which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts. So
hear what it is. That which come out of the man, that defiles the man. The things that you speak, the things that you utter, that's what defiles you. Why? Verse 21.
For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
So out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts. Continue.
Adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man.
All these things come from within and defile the man. Now, is it unlawful to wash your hands? No. That wasn't the problem. The problem was they were replacing their tradition with the Father's own and putting it on a higher pedestal than what the Father said. If he had said, like, hey, brother, you should wash your hands, but came off from there, nah, I'm good, okay, fine. They're saying, you're going off. They didn't say, like, listen, but you should wash your hands. Nah. It looks like you going straight to hell right now. Now washing your hands. What? Tradition of men, especially of those of the circumcision. Let's go to 1 Peter. One and 18.
First Peter 1 and 18. For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things.
So we have to understand we were not redeemed by corruptible things. Pots, pan, washing, boom, boom. We were not received from the Most High by corruptible things. Continue.
As silver and gold, from your vain conversation received by tradition from your fathers.
As silver and gold and vain conversation, vain behavior, vain speaking, received by the tradition of your fathers, our fathers. So we must understand that when we read certain things, especially outside of the text, we have to be very careful. Just because they're Israelites from the tribe of Judah, David's lineage doesn't matter. If it's going against what the Most High is saying, that is a tradition of man. Period. That is a tradition of man. So Paul Peter wrote that for as much as ye know that we were not redeemed, we were not saved with corruptible things, as such as silver and gold, from your vain conversation received by the tradition of our fathers. From our fathers. Like, listen, man, like, even if we try to go do certain, people say, listen, I don't care. I got to do what my forefathers did. Even that, you'll fall short in that. Let me give you an example. Did you know, according to what the elders wrote back in time, that cooking with metal pots is a heathen thing? Is defiled? Cooking in metal pots, steel, iron, copper, that came up from the Gentiles. So even that, right there, even if you think you're doing the tradition of man, I mean the tradition of what you need to do, it's still going to fall off. And it's very interesting regarding that, right? I'm going to give you a little history on that one, on the clay pots that we used to use in Israel. The reason why they use clay pots, when they used to cook meat, the fat used to soak into the clay to take out all the fat and make it more lean, take out the grease and everything. But again, if you cook with a metal pot, are you going off? Is that a sin? Not. There's no law saying that thou should not cook with a metal pot. There's no law. Yeah, you could say more it's healthier to cook with a clay pot. Okay, it's fine. But you can't look at me and say, hey, brother, you're cooking with a metal pot. You're defiled. You're going off. That's a Gentile custom. You're defiled now. Chapter and verse. Give me chapter and verse. Can't be done. 1 Timothy, chapter 4. To understand this is not the tradition per se. That's all. I'm repeating it again. It's not the tradition. It's because of the tradition causing you to replace it with what the Most High wants you to do. And causing it to be a stumbling block for people. Because, like, hey, I always said we can't eat with metal pots. I can't eat anything anymore. All I got is metal pots. We're losing focus on what we have to do. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
So we understand in the latter times, people shall depart from the faith. Offenses must happen. What's his name? Ahia. What's that? Yeah, I've been speaking about that name for 5 years, but come on, man. What's that? I don't know, man. There's 10,000 times. Yahweh, what's going on? Something ain't right, man. Brother, what name were you called in? When you was on YouTube or on the street piece, when you heard it, and the person told you the name was Ahia, what happened? People will depart from the faith and understanding. Yeah, I don't know, man. God having a son? It don't fit with me. Have you read Isaiah? There's only one God, nothing above me. I don't know, man. It don't sound right. Departing from faith, giving heed to seducing spirits. So now, don't think that just a spirit just floating over your head, come over here. Nah. Spirit jumping somebody to come and seduce you. Seducing spirits, using that vessel to be seduced. So when they say seduce the spirits, they want to speak enticing words. Enticing words. They're not going to speak loud and like, yeah, I've been thinking for a while now. Go check out, I'm going to check out my, my information here. Enticing words, seducing spirits. Doctrine of devils. Why did he call it doctrine of devils? We're going to read some of these things and why he called it the doctrine of devils. It's because those things are devilish, or how it's used was devilish. Let's read. Verse 2.
Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
Having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Continue.
Forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which the Most High hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
So one of the two things he brought up was forbidden to marry. Was Paul married? Hello?
No.
So wait, if Paul was not married and he's saying that one of the doctrine of the devils is forbidden to marry, what's he saying? What Paul is saying here is not because so what Paul was saying is not that forbidden in marriage is a devilish work, but if I'm telling somebody it is unlawful to marry, you are going off if you lay with a person. Now that becomes the doctrine of the devils. Why? Because anything that's opposite of the Father is of the devil. Period. So if the Father didn't say it, if it's not written, it's of the devil. Forbidden to marry and commanded to abstain from meats. This is the new sensation now. Brother, in order to get into the kingdom, you got to stop eating meat. You better put down that chicken. Yeah, I know Paul said that, but Paul's the devil, bro. The demon, man. Look, check out this book, man. People been talking about Paul all the time, man. He be going off. Yeah, I know it says sacrificing animals. I believe that was tampered with, man. I believe they put a broccoli on the altar. I'll be honest. I heard this conversation already. I had this conversation with somebody already. Yeah, Christ ate fish. I don't believe that. What do you believe? Well, check out this book of the Essenes, bro. I got something to show you right here. Check out this book. In the book of the Essenes, right? They got one part where a little kid caged a rabbit, and they offered Christ to eat the rabbit. Automatically, that's off right there. An Israelite brother giving a rabbit to Christ, saying that, listen, you want something to eat, and Christ said, nah, let it free. Where in the scripture does it say eat rabbit? So it's like a young Israelite brother trying to give Christ something to eat, a rabbit. Automatically, you got to see with a keen eye. Now, is there beneficial things from not eating? Of course. When you feeling ill and stuff like that, you should abstain from certain things to make sure your body gets back leveled up. Yeah, of course. But if you see me eating chicken, am I going off? Now, if you see me eating ribs, you can start the fire out of me. I'll let you do it too. Nah, definitely not Popeye chicken sandwich. No way, bro. No way. No way. Listen, man. If a person wants to abstain from meat and just wants to eat a vegan and a vegetarian diet, that's no problem. That's good for you. But if you see me eating meat now, you cannot say, behold the defiled one. Surely you're not going to heaven, sir. You cannot do that. Now it becomes a doctrine of devils because it is not written. It talks about it. Paul talks about it. The kingdom is not of meat and drinks. We sacrifice. So the question you got to ask, like, who is Christ? The sacrificial cauliflower? Like, nah, it's the truth. You're telling me that you cannot put any meat on the altar. What is Christ? We had to open our minds and open our hearts and understand what these scriptures are talking about. Or when we go back into the kingdom of heaven, where we're going to be eating meat? No, I know that. Show them what the lion's eater. You want to stop the lion from eating meat? You want to stop the lion? Go try to stop the lion. Stop eating meat. Go feed them lettuce. Go ahead. You try that. All things will be done accordingly. How it fits the Most High. It's nothing to be forced about. If you want to get a head start, by all means. But guess what? That's not making you have a head start into the kingdom. Period. You having an alkaline body and your heart defiled, you might as well eat meat. You might as well be acidic. You might as well have no vegetable diet. Alkaline body, defiled heart. Good job. Let's reverse that now. Let's reverse that. So this is what Paul was talking about. Paul didn't marry, but he knew that people were out there saying that, yeah, you can't lay with nobody. You got to separate yourself from the kingdom. You got to sacrifice your body for the kingdom. So now you putting this law, this commandment of man over people now. And if they go and lay with somebody, their conscience is defiled. So automatically they sinning. Automatically. So if a person is vegan, I'm not going to force him to listen, but the law says that you can eat meat. I can't do that. Because if he does that, he's sinning on his own conscience. I cause that person to sin because that's their belief. I feel that if I eat a vegan diet, that this is going to help me benefit. Okay. As long as you don't put bondage on me for that because it's not written. But if you do, that will become the doctrine of devils. Tradition of man. Especially those of the circumcision. And when it says, and command abstain from meats which the Most High created to receive with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth, when it talks about thanksgiving, things that you can actually present on the altar. So you know for a fact that you cannot present pig on the altar. You cannot do these things. You cannot present any unclean animals on the altar. So no one it talks about thanksgiving, it's talking about regarding in the dietary law. Right? Verse 4.
For every creature of the Most High is good, and nothing to be refused. It is to be received with thanksgiving.
So every creature of the Most High is good, which is under the dietary law. And nothing to be refused unless it's unholy to eat. Let's make that clear. If it be received with thanksgiving, if it could be received on the altar, it's good to eat. Continue.
For it is sanctified by the word of the Most High and prayer. If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yeshua Christ.
So we have to put a remembrance of these things. These things are tradition of men. Tradition of men. Continue.
Nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained.
So we have to understand that, right? Let's say that the Essenes did write that book about the vegan diet, the vegetarian diet, right? Did you know that there were Essenes following Paul in the churches? You don't think the Sadducees came, Pharisees came? So people will come up with this mindset of a vegan doctrine is coming in and sitting down. So now he's sitting down and watching they have the feast and like, oh, hold up. Guys eat meat? Nah, this can't be the church. Hold up, I got a question, Paul. So you have to understand, people are going to come with their same mindset, not leaving their understanding outside. So this is the reason why Paul had to come in and say, listen, this is not what it is. The kingdom is not of meat and drinks. What are you talking about? So yeah, you're gonna have different places saying that, yeah, you know, Paul's not a real apostle. Paul's this, Paul's that. Of course. Just like they have people in here saying, yeah, G.O.C.C is this, G.O.C.C is that. It's the Elder Rawchaa. The Elder Rawchaa do this, Elder Gabar do that. Deacon Small do this. You're gonna have people outside saying that. Just like they don't say the way about Paul. Not everybody who is following that sound state. It's written. And people went out, and it's even many. Continue.
Verse 7. But refuse profane and old wives' fables.
But refuse profane and old wise fable. Old wise fable. They call that Nancy story, right? Old lady story. A Nancy story. Everybody know Nancy the spider? Remember that? Nobody remember that? Forget y'all. Don't give me no Nancy story, right? No old wise fable. Tales, silly old tales. But people are going to tell you certain things like, yeah, but it's not written. It's not written, but they tell you this, that, and the third. Like, yeah, this sounds good. Like when two old ladies sit down and gossip. Yeah, that's what it's talking about. Old wives' tales. This is what I heard. This is what I did. Old wives' tales. But refuse profane and old wives' tale and exercise yourself rather on to godliness. Continue.
For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is and of that which is to come.
So even it looks like even with regarding exercising was something. Yeah, exercise is good for you. Of course. Should exercise. Keep your body fit, of course. It's unlawful not to exercise. So Paul is saying, but exercise yourself right onto godliness. Yeah, exercising is good. But exercising your righteousness is even better. But bodily exercise profit a little. By getting muscles, get some abs, calf muscles looking strong. Pick things up, lift things up, put things down. Yeah, you can do all that. But body exercise profit a little. Continue.
But godliness is profitable unto all things.
Godliness is profitable unto all things. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Everything. It profits everything. Because with godliness, right, you could be exercising all day. Boom, boom. If you wicked inside, if you have anger in you, all this thing, grudging, all this thing in your body, body's gonna shut down. Regardless if you 250 pounds, don't matter. It don't matter. Continue.
Having promise of the life that now is and of that which is to come.
Having promise of the life is. So now the people saying like, yeah, you gotta exercise, do these push-ups to live long. He's saying it will promise you for this life and the life to come. You want a long life? Godliness. And the time to come. Honor your father and mother, like your days may be long upon the land. And they say do 50 push-ups so you can stay long. Honor your father and mother. Show godliness. And check, that's crazy, man. Look, check this out, right? When a person doesn't honor their father and mother, right? Especially those of males, right? Listen, mind listening to you. They go on the street. Chances are, they get shot. They die on drugs. So you see that it's not the most like saying, lightning, boom. Don't honor your father and mother, that's the outcome. I'm telling you for your own good. Nah, get that. You just old. You don't know what you're talking about. You want me to have fun, man. That's what it is. Can't stand y'all old people, man. End up locked up, jail. So you see that the law still stands. You see that it's still going on. The Most High is keeping his promise. You want to live longer in this land? Okay. Honor your father and mother. Continue.
Verse 9. This is a faithful saying and worthy of all acceptation.
This is a faithful saying and worthy of all acceptation. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 1. And we're going to start at verse 3.
As I besought thee to abide still in Ephesus, when I went into Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine.
That they teach no other doctrine outside of what the gospel is about. Continue.
Need to give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So do.
So it says that to teach no other doctrine, neither giving heed to fables, and it came back to the fables again, and endless genealogy, which minister a question rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So listen, when a person says, listen, I don't believe from the tribe of Judah, I don't believe that tribe, like, brother, I have no problem with that. I'm not arguing about that. Come on. Oh, it's all tribe. Like, brother, it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. It's not up to you. This thing is just a regular sign trying to, is a bait. We out here fishing. So if I see something that says West Indian, I'm like, what's going on here? What are you saying about West Indians? Okay, so it's a bait. If you don't believe, that's fine. That's up to you. I'm not going to go on with endless genealogy. And now people talking about you have to take the DNA test now to make sure you're an Israelite. What's up? EB1, B1, whatever it is. You have to make sure that if it's not, that's endless genealogy. I don't got time for that. What I'm giving these guys my DNA for? Who them? Endless genealogy, especially those of the circumcision. Especially them. Which ministers questions. So if I now say that, okay, EB1, B1 is Israelite, and I come out and say EB1, B8, I'm like, what? I'm not Israelite anymore. Like, what? Endless genealogy. And now, check this out, right? It's not to say that if let's say the elders put something like, give us, for example, regarding marriage, 3 months in the church, is that going on? Or is that something that is protecting the gospel? It's different. I'm going to see that. We'll show that in Paul, right? In 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Because Paul also talking about, listen, avoid the commandments of men. So what is he doing here? For 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10, 15. First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10.
And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband.
So you see where he says that, and unto the married I command, yet but not I. The Lord commands this, right? Let not a wife depart from her husband, right? Continue.
But and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. Let not the husband put away his wife.
So the command is, let not the wife depart from her husband, and not the husband depart from a wife. This is not the commandment from Paul, the commandment from the Messiah, right? Continue.
But to the rest speak I.
So now Paul's saying, this is what I'm speaking now. Continue.
Not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. So
what Paul is doing here is trying to make sure, protecting what the Messiah said. The departing. It's set before fornication. Well, the Messiah didn't put away his wife because of fornication. Why you can't continue with that? So he's saying that the rest I speak not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believe not, she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. So this is the advice that Paul is given to protect this path. Continue.
13. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, and now are they holy. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but the Most High hath called us to peace.
Right, so it says that if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. The Most High called you to peace. So now, we see here that Paul is giving a command, more so an advice to stay on the path. If your wife wants to stay with you, why divorce her? Stay with your wife. If your husband wants to stay with you, why divorce him? Stay with him. Continue in the path. Continue in that path. You don't know how that person's going to change later on. Oh, he's an unbeliever. Got to remove him. For what? You were an unbeliever before too. Wait for that person. See, they're gonna catch on. Like for the women, the people, Peter says that, listen, through your conversations, you win over your husband. The way how you speak. You can't come to your husband, get your defiled hands off me. Get off me. Just eating a spare rib. What are you talking about? He was there eating a spare rib just a couple of months ago. Wait on your husband. Have a conversation. With your conversation, you shall win him off. Babe, something different about you, man. You're nice. Really different. I don't know. Let's see what's up with this Bible stuff now, man. Through your conversation. I wanted to show something before I forget. Let's go to Matthew's. And let's go to 23, chapter 23. And verse 23. Because not only we got to focus on keeping an eye on the tradition of men that's going on all about, we got to be focused on certain things according to the law that we're not applying. Let's read Matthew chapter 23, verse 23.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law.
And have omitted the weightier matters of the law. So wait, there's heavier things in the law than others? Right, said it. There's heavier things in the law that people are not focusing on. So Christ saying, yeah, you're giving them tithe and mint and stuff like that. That's part of it. But what about the heavier things of the law? What about the heavier things? Is all judgment the same? For the different laws? Hello? If a person commits adultery, what's the judgment? If a person steals, what's the judgment? Huh? The death? Yeesh. Kind of rough over there, man. You got to restore what you stole and double it. So you see, there's different judgments for different things. If a person eats, ends up eating something unclean, they're unclean. There's no death on that. So now we gotta pay attention without judging people in the matter too, especially our family members, man. Because I'm thinking like, listen, about my aunt that died last year, right? And my uncle that died this year. There's things that they did better than me, and they was not in the truth. So my uncle never grudged on any person. Never. If a person talked bad about him, walk away. Always a person that motivates somebody. Always. Always does something good. Always love nature. Always planting trees and stuff like that. Knocking on people's doors saying how they doing. You need help or anything. Am I a judge to say that this man is going to hell? Who am I? What does it mean when a person eats an unclean food? What full judgment is that? I don't know. What it means to be unclean? I don't know. We cannot look at people and say, yes, they're going to hell. They're going to hell. Apply the things where they had good and put it in you and use them. Yes, they're not supposed to be eating pork, but there's different levels to this law. So now, this person ate pork, but did good to people and did according to what the law says, besides the dietary law, right? You now didn't eat no unclean meat. My body's never defiled, but your heart was. What judgment? What do you think the judgment is going to be? This is what we have to think about. There's weightier things in the law. So now, if they're applying all these things, only thing they have to work about is the dietary law. I got easy talking about it. Instead of judging that person. Because remember, that judgment's coming back to you. So you cannot look at your family members, your friends, with an evil eye, just because they don't believe. And what I'm saying that too, because you don't know when that's going to happen. Like, for example, who's James in the Bible? Christ's blood brother. Did he believe when Christ was walking? Hello? He didn't believe. Hey, what's wrong with this dude, man? You got the same mother and father. This guy talking about son of God. Come on. Think his brothers and sisters, they believe everything? Nah. And when Christ said, who's my mother? Who's my father? Who's my brother? Who's my sister? Everybody here is my brothers and sisters. Did he separate from his brothers and sisters? Did he separate from his mother and father? Why are we doing that? How are they all supposed to apply and learn the things if you're saying, I'm touching the foul person? Unless you can't handle it. Of course, if you can't handle it, it's best you stay away. But how are they supposed to learn and apply what the scripture is talking about if you're being separate, like the Pharisees? Why are you sitting with publicans and sinners? Brother, they need you. What do you mean I'm sitting with them? Because they need me. You're supposed to be sitting with them. You're talking about, now I can't sit with them. I got to separate myself. How? How is that going to work? There are weightier things in the law. Do y'all understand what I'm saying, though? Now, y'all don't sound like I understand. Do you understand? Yes or no? If I say no, that's fine. Let me explain more. Do you understand? There are weightier things in the law. It's just like a courtroom. There's misdemeanors, first degree. Slap on the wrist, okay, brother. You did your time. I don't know. Because I had to sit in the judgment seat too. So I can't say that person's going to hell. All I can say is that the Most High will have mercy upon his soul. That's it. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to make it. Who am I to say this person's not going to make it? It's reality, man. We got to get out of this pharisaical and holy than thou mindset, man, because we know who we are. If we know who we are, we got to do better. In the Testament of Benjamin, he said that, listen, the sun don't get defiled by the stuff on the earth, but yet the light still shine on everything and dry up the filth on the earth. The sun don't say, I ain't coming out because I don't want to get defiled by the things that I see here. The sun still shines and still just covers up every darkness. We're putting our light under the bushel for what? Why shine a light on a person that got light already? Weightier things in the law. Weightier things. Because guess what? We're going to fall short on one of these things as well too. So you worrying about somebody eating pork, you over there don't think about murdering somebody. Eating pork, unclean. Murder, you're dying. You're dead. Adultery, you're dead. Not only your father and mother, you're dead. You have to understand that the judgments that you see in the Leviticus law and Deuteronomy, those have not been fulfilled yet. Christ has to fulfill those judgments. So we already know the outcome, what the judgment is going to be. And he explained it. Oh, you hate your brother? Well, that's murder. That's murder. I mean, there's no excuse. We understand what the mindset is. And I'm definitely not telling people like this to go eat pork. Does this mean unclean? No, absolutely not. It's uncleanness. I don't know what the judgment is. All I know is uncleanness. It's uncleanness. We have to examine what we say and what we do and how we are doing it, because there's weightier things in the law. So I want us to get out of this mindset, because what it is, this mindset is very carnal. It's very carnal. It's very carnal. And it's not the things that the elders teach us. When people come in here, what they're thinking, what this thing is, and not applying it, what the elders and them are saying. Because of a very, very carnal mindset, very pharisaical mindset of our people, man. And then we become no different than the Pharisee. We become no different than people who apply tradition of men. I'll continue.
And have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel.
You see that? Two things that are unclean to eat. But he's trying to show you the difference between the weightier things of the law. So now you walk down the street and you make a yawn, and all of a sudden a fly go in your mouth. You swallow it. It's unclean, brother. But they over there fighting flies, gnats, and they over here eating camelback. The weightier things of the law. There's weightier things of the law. We just said it. If you steal, it's not death. You just have to repay those things back. There's different judgments on different things. Weightier things in the law. Some people worrying about what kind of ointment were the Leviticus people using. Who cares? What are you worried about? Who cares about that? There's heavier things in the law about worrying about ointment. Did the ointment help them? Did the ointment help the first and second temple? Absolutely not. So what are we worried about? There's heavier things in the law. We over here straining knots, but yet there's a big camel there. We eating the camel back right in front of people and saying, brother, you swallow a knot. How dare you? Brother, you over here eating the camel back. What are you talking about? Continue.
25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisees, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also.
Right, so the heavier things in the law has to do with the inside. Has to do with the inside. What are we worrying about if a two-man fight and a woman grabs another man's stones, you chop off her hand? Like, what are we worried about that for? Let's not get to that point. It doesn't make no sense. There's heavier things in the law. Continue. So we have to worry about the inside. So once we pay the inside, the outside will be cleansed. The outside will be cleansed. Continue.
27. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones, and of all uncleanness. Even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
So even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Outside look beautiful, inside, the city dump. It's pure filth. Let's go back. I just want to show you that there's heavier things in the law that we have to see and examine and that we have to do because all these things have to apply within. First, let's go to 2 Thessalonians. Chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 6.
Second Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 6. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Yeshua Christ, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the tradition which he hath received of us.
So every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the tradition which he hath received of us. The tradition that he's talking about here is talking about the tradition that was given by Christ. Right? So he says that for every brother that walk, now we command you, brethren, in the name of the Lord Yeshua Christ, that ye withdraw yourself from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the tradition which he received of us. And that tradition, again, is talking about the tradition of the Most High. Right? Passed on tradition. That's what it means to be passed on. So the tradition that Paul is talking about is talking about the tradition that was given unto the Messiah, from the Messiah, excuse me. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. We're almost done. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14.
That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they light and wait to deceive.
So therefore, we must understand we should not be tossed to and fro as little children. Yes, we must humble our minds as children, but at the same time be grown people in Christ. Growing in the Spirit. So in order for us to grow in the Spirit, when we get tossed to and fro as a little child. Tell a child there's monsters under the bed, automatically they're going to believe the monsters under the bed. But that's a child's mind. They're going to believe it. Do not get tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine. Doctrine's going to be blowing left and right. You're going to open up your computer, go on YouTube. It's going to be filled with doctrine. Doctrine that's the same as what we believe in. Doctrine that's not the same that we believe in. Everything is off that we believe in. You're going to find it. If you search for the answer, you want to go against it, you'll find it. It's there. We just have to make sure that we're secure in our own doctrine. If we're not, we're going to get tossed. This is what it talks about with that seed being planted in the ground, if it's in stony ground. Where's your security? And carried about in every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men, and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie and wait to deceive. There's people out there waiting. It's not them themselves, it's spirits waiting for you to slip up. for you to have offense with the church. They're there. 2 Timothy, last chapter. Matter of fact, before I even go to that scripture, I want to address something real quick, right? I didn't do that. I get to do that 2 weeks from now. I, Deacon Shamal, young Gabar, of the tribe of Benjamin, under Elder Gabar and G.O.C.C. NYC, did not say that a woman could come here inside this body wearing pants. I did not say that. I just want to make that clear. I did not say that. We have a dress code here. Just like the priests had dress codes in their temple. You wear according to what's the dress code here. What I was explaining is, on your formal days, if you're going outside, if you're wearing pants, you still have to be modest. You have to have, and this is what modest is, covering your parts. So have a shirt, at least come past your knees. That's modest. So I did not say that it's okay for women to come in here wearing pants. Absolutely not. We have a dress code here. Done? Thank you. 2 Timothy chapter 4. Trying to get me in trouble. Oh, 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 to 4.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears.
So we must understand, there'll be a time when people will come here and the devil will take them away. Itching ears. Oh, what's he saying over there? Well, that sounds interesting. I never heard the elders teaching that before. The book of the Essenes, huh? Oh, that's interesting. Why the elders bring that out? Why are they telling us not to read it? The reason why is not that the elders trying to pull a strain on you and say, listen, don't read these books. The reason why is because what Ephesians chapter 4 is. Little children being tossed to and fro. The spirituality has to be secure in order to read those type of books. You can read those books all you want, but if you know that you don't have a secure mind and you know they get tossed to and fro, stay away from it. This is the reason why the elders say stay away from these books. Don't read it. But they know. They know. I can read something and say, yo, that sounds interesting, but I don't see that in the scriptures. If I don't see it, then I can't prove anything. That's period. Any type of book. I don't care. Like, okay, that sounds correct, but what's that? I'm not taking that in. It sounds good. But as far as the scriptures, I don't see that. So this is the mindset you have to have. So you have to understand that there will be a time of people not enduring sound doctrine, but after their own lust. So they had this thing in their mind before, and somebody just came and said, you know what I got to say? He's like, I knew it. It's waiting for you. And guess what? Talks about right here. These YouTube teachers. When you don't find it, like, you know what? I'll start my own thing. That's fine. You want to start your own thing. But you have to be careful that you're not stabilizing yourself in sound doctrine. There's a YouTube channel. One of the brothers left because of the whole thing regarding the flat earth. It's fine if you want to be a flat earth. I don't care what you believe. But your whole doctrine is about flat earth now? Your whole doctrine, yo, bro, okay, after this earth is done, what are you going to tell me? What are you going to show me? What are you showing me? Okay, the earth is flat, so okay, what are we benefiting from it? What? Just tell me. Why is the whole church higher flat earth 144? Like, what? Are you serious? That's your foundation? That's your foundation of your doctrine? Okay, you believe in that. Who cares? But don't leave because that's what you believe in, and this is the foundation. That's crazy. Okay, you believe in Essenes book. Now your whole thing is about eating herbs. That's it. Your whole service about how to cook Brussels sprouts. The whole lesson. You serious? I'm telling you, man, this is especially of those who are of the circumcision. You'll find out. I'm telling you. Verse 4.
And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables.
And they shall turn their ears from the truth, and shall turn unto fables. So you might see people leaving and say, maybe they got a point there. What did you come in here learning? That's what we got to question. What is the scriptures talking about being tossed to and fro? I keep on telling people, when it comes to the Most High, if it's the truth, it has to be revealed. It has to. Your problem is you don't have the endurance. You don't have the patience to wait for that to come to pass. What if it be the last day? Waiting on it. If it's the truth, it will come out. It has to. It has to come out. The patience and the lack of patience of the people, that's the problem. Continue.
Verse 5. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry.
But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of the evangelist, and make full proof of thy ministry, whatever that is. All right, family, so this is the key point. To be aware of strange doctrine of men that we deem as the commandments of the Most High. Look at the scriptures at what it says. As it is written, what do we need to do? The law says it, Christ says it. This is the completion. What furthermore do we need? It is you who have the problem, not understand the scriptures. If you don't understand it, you come and ask and learn. Everybody wants extra knowledge. Everybody wants all these earthly knowledge and earthly wisdom. But all the riches are here for the kingdom. We must open up this eye right here, this single eye, and understand what these scriptures are talking about and stay away from the doctrine of men. Huh? Let's give the Most High a round of applause. All praises. I really just want to secure your mind, family, because there's this world right now, like we on this earth right now, this country, this whatever it is, this is on a thread. You can feel the tension, you can feel everything. It's not time to go astray with certain things. If we start saying that, listen, we don't believe in the Messiah, then y'all can run. If we start saying stuff that is the weightier things and telling you to go against that, run. But things that could be handled later on in the day, later on in time, where are you going? Where are you going? That's like a husband coming in and saying, hey, the carpet's dirty. No, I'm out of here, man. I can't take this anymore, man. Where you going? Just because one thing is wrong, you gotta leave? If it's wrong, where are you going? How is it gonna be resolved? How is it gonna be resolved? Gotta open up our minds, brothers and sisters. Anybody have any questions or comments? 1, 2, 3. Start from up there, come back down. Raise your hand so you can see them.
Hi. The whole thing about forgiveness and 70 times 70. Now, what if you choose, you forgive this person with your whole heart, but you choose to keep that person at arm's distance from that point on, or you choose not to deal with that person again after that, just so they don't have the opportunity to do it to you again? Are you still at risk of being condemned, or do you still have to have that person in your life?
In the body, outside?
Both.
So it's different. Okay, inside here, you gotta work it out.
Oh, okay.
Out there, you have to sincerely forgive that person. Sincerely.
Yes.
All right, so you have to sincerely forgive that person. Be arm distance or be it. Mm-hmm. But in here, you got that choice. You don't have that choice whatsoever.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Question. Keep your hands raised.
Shabbat Shalom, brothers and sisters. Deacon Shema, that was a fantastic lesson. You have me in tears right now, and you have me a little afraid. Why I say this because he talked about forgiveness and a lot of things that we do here on the Shabbat, and we walk in here like it's a little fun place to be. And I speak for the will of the Lord when he came into our door for being my Lord and had to bring trials and tribulations into our home. But hear this and hear these words that Deacon Shema is coming forth us. If you can please go into 2 Timothy 3 and read all the way to 7, because these days are going to be worse. These days will get worse. We're all going to have our day of judgment. These things are going to happen here in the church. They're going to happen in our jobs. They're going to happen to our children. They're going to happen to us getting sick, which I know already that. Listen to these words that Deacon Shema is saying. And I say this deeply in my heart because the Lord has came to my doorstep. Whether it's wake me up or shake me, whatever it was, it had to keep me still. So this lesson, I know we're going to leave here and we'll say the Shema, but please, don't wait too long till the Lord comes to you or to your children, because this world is not getting even better. And when my deacon or his officer, just listen to the description in 2 Timothy 3 all the way to 8. This is how worse is going to be for our brothers and sisters. Just because we're in this walk, that doesn't mean the devil can't be behind us. So know this, when he reads this scripture, and I really want to thank you for this, Deacon, because as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, the forgiveness and everything that you brought up today, it touched my heart. I know today I will be telling my Lord sorry for little things that, my little, you get your moves, but forgive the fast. Don't stay angry for too long. We hear these things and it's like nothing once we leave these doors. But I'll tell you something. He will come to you. It is true, and it's really something to think about. But if you could take some time and read the scripture, because once you were speaking, I had to listen to this. I know my Lord was talking about this to me. Had to wake me up a little bit and show me how serious this world is going to get. I need to stand strong by his side and do what I need to do, because it's going to come to us. Shabbat Shalom. It's 2 Timothy 3 from the beginning. I think it stops all the way to 8. Yeah.
2 Timothy 3 and 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into... I think that's it right there, right? Oh, keep going.
Verse 7.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
This just sounds like 2019, right? This is 2019. Like I'm looking at this, I'm like, I remember all this. Like we could say like, yeah, the 90s was kind of rough, and yeah, the 80s, but this is different. This is totally different, man. Like the way how people operate with their parents, and the whole thing about where's it at? Where's it at? Despisers of those that are good. Like the things that the way how people operate. Just even on this whole, I know there's a whole other letter on it, right? LGBTQH. I think H now. They're P and H, I think, and H. It just came out last week. That's what I'm saying. Like now, you can't even in publicly. You have to even watch your tone and watch your mouth how you say certain things because of this. You have to watch your tone and everything. Just online, you can't even say certain things because they're gonna pick it up and shut up the channel. And they are over there taking all our funds from over here because of the civil rights movement and using the funds for themselves, saying that they're the one being oppressed. Because this is a civil rights movement. They're going against a race. That's what they call themselves, a race. I'm telling you, I'm on a thin thread right now. Like something's gonna happen soon. You feel the tension. It's there. The question is, what are we doing to prepare ourselves? Because the thing is, when these things go down, we only have ourselves left. We only have ourselves left. So the forgiveness has to be there, because you might be buddy up with somebody that you don't like. You might try to say them. And and then run off. We got to prepare our minds of what these scriptures are talking about. There's another thing I speak about, but I'm going to finish the conversation. What?
Yeah, hi, Deacon. Oh, what's loud? I had a question in terms of like the forgiveness part of it. Because sometimes we think we really like forgave somebody, and we try to forgive somebody with, with passion as much as we can. But then something comes up where you realize you never truly like forgave that person. Though like you pray to forgive, you really try to, and I know that I struggle with that. So it's like, how do you know you truly like forgave somebody? And if you haven't, then like how can you get there?
Well, you already gave an answer for yourself. You know in your heart, and it's just up to the person. So you know in your heart if you forgave that person or not. That's up to you. So now our duty is not through us to ask for the forgiveness, through Christ, because we don't have that strength. So in order for us to understand what it is, we must apply Christ, because Christ is the only solution. It's impossible for us according to the flesh to easily forgive. We can do that. No man in this flesh is going to easily forgive. That's why we must imply Christ. It sounds easy. It sounds like that's not an answer, but it is. We must have the things that we think this faith thing is like nothing. It's the sole purpose of the matter. The faith is what drives us. It's faith that was continuous us going on a path. We think about carnal things of the law, but the weightier things is that faith, the mercy, the love. Why are we not applying those things? So once we apply those things, the love that Christ is talking about, the unconditional love, once you apply those things, then you know. But it's up to each individual to know if they forgave or not. I can look at you and say, yeah, he probably forgave. No, it's within your heart. It says, what comes out of your mouth? What in here defiles you? So the devil will come and say, but you remember what that person did, though? Do you remember what he did? You remember what she did, though? Yes. It's all going to come there. And now you have to go back, continue praying, continue applying. It's always going to be there. Anytime you see it, it's going to be a second. I rebuke that. Continue rebuking. It's going to be until death. It's reality. But you must continue applying it daily. Daily. It's a daily struggle every day. Right?
I want to add on to that, D.
Yes, sir.
It's not so much that it's not easy. A lot of times, we don't ever look at ourselves first when we want to be mad at someone. The initial shock of everything, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about after time passes. You have to, examine yourself about the things that the Father has forgiven you for. A lot of times we think we're blameless when somebody does something to us. They probably do that. We probably do that to them directly. But somewhere in a point in our life, we did something to someone, and the Father forgave us. Forget the person saying, I forgive you. Think about how the Father forgave you, because he had to. You in here. You understand? So that's how you rebuke that spirit, by looking at yourself. And then you'll genuinely get over it and forgive them, because by default, you don't want it to have be a prisoner to it. You know what I mean? It's a process. It's not easy. Like the deacon said, you got to put on Christ to do it. After month after month, week after week, day after day. He's the physician for real. That's when your faith broke, because now you're like, wow. Because I don't want to put my business out there, but there's things that I look back on a year ago, 2 years ago. I don't know how I'm here, but I know how I'm here. Christ. To the point where it's now, if that happens again, it won't affect me the same way. It won't. And someone else is going to benefit from the struggle